you. Hello, 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 and welcome. We are moments away from starting round 12 of the FRL season here at Japan. Comment Commentating, I am going to be alone in the box. My name is Nexi. I am joined
Wait,
by Prudess and
I'm
Race
still here.
Control. Well, yeah, I was saying that, like, you're the race control. You also do color commentary. You're in the
Yeah,
other box. That's the lore now.
but anyway,
Yes, welcome to round 12 of the FRL season, the penultimate round. And there is all to play for here in the famous Suzuka circuit. Many championships have been won here. Mathematically, I do not think Corvix. Well, mathematically, Corvix can clinch it if really bad
there's
things happen to
there's a
Lenny.
there's a chance if things go right for Corvix.
Indeed. Though based on most likely scenarios, he will emerge with either a 25-point lead or a 24-point lead coming out of today. That is the most likely scenario McLaren will be hoping for. Coming out of the garage, coming into a qualifying session around one of the more one of the oldest, most storied circuits that we go to here. And he's second to last, potentially, in this game.
And our third or fourth visit to the Suzuka International Circuit, 18 Corners, the only figure eight circuit on the entire F1 calendar.
I think it's one of the only figure eight circuits in the world, if we're being real.
Discounting others such as Ferrari's on test track, though that's not really a proper racetrack.
Indeed, it does not. To give you an update on the standings, Lenny was absent for last week's American Grand Prix, won by Leo on after a beautiful last lap. I would recommend checking that one out if you can. Very fun lap. I was informed, by the way, and I should probably address this, that our telemetry was wrong. Uh, at the very least, Corvix had a lot less battery than we thought. Thank you, EA and Codemasters. Anyway, to fill you in on the standings, Corvix and the McLaren at 195 points, Lenny in second at 178, Leo in third after his win on 168. So Leo will be slipping out of the fight here too, but Corvix now has a huge advantage in the title fight after essentially having a race in hand over his other two rivals. I know in global football, association football, as me and Pradesk will call it soccer, the term match in hand generally refers to the team that has not played all of their matches. So technically, by that rule, if we're going with this analogy anyway, Lenny and Leo have a match in hand, but they can't get it. So Corvix just has an advantage here. The amount of points he got in France is about 18. So, if the gap at the end of the season ends up being that close to 18 points, it'll be a very interesting discussion as Adrake gets things started off with a 128.2. Laz coming in the Sauber with a 133.9.
He's Atrix keeping up with the time-honored tradition this season of an Alpine going out first in qualifying.
Indeed, we are missing his teammate here. We are missing a lot of cars here. And we do have Maybe once again coming in for the Ferrari. Returning to the grid, we have Avo in the Aston Martin. We have both Saubers, both Ferraris here. We're still missing the second McLaren. We have Reaper in the Tauri. As Avo gets things started on his return to the grid with a 131.1. Lynx getting a 130.3. Sierra, though, gets the top of the grid started with a 127.6. Very good time from the Red Bulls.
Red Bulls will need to put on a strong showing this race, especially this race.
This race and this season, where they have pretty much all but, like, I think they might have clinched, if not mathematically, but McLaren only using one driver, Mercedes being far behind, means that Red Bull are almost surely Constructors champions.
You already have one hand on the trophy. Like this race with the home crowd cheering them on, with the support of also circuit owners Honda.
Indeed. Lenny sets a 127.1. That's our provisional pole time. Lenny has been on pole a couple of times this season, so we can expect our pole time to be around that 127.1. Might reach it to the 126s, depending on what Corvix has in the tank. But a lot of these drivers have something to prove after what happened in France, and then Corvix running in Coda. There was... we want to address this, but there was, funnily enough, a little bit of a gentleman's agreement going into Coda that Corvix and Lenny wouldn't run. This was to essentially allow Leo, our Merc, currently out on an outlap right now, to remove that match in hand, to give everybody a level field. But as we all know, Corvix ran in Coda. He didn't win the race there. If he had won, then he would be at an even bigger advantage going into this race, and essentially would need to just score a point here to clinch the title. However, it is listed
8.
Yep. 126.8 is what we have gotten right now. So there's that 3 temps. There's that 3 temps of a gap. And we have 0 with a 127.6. About half a second behind his teammate in the second Red Bull. A couple drivers still yet to set a lap time, the biggest of them being Leo and Navy, who's won a single race for the Scuderia in his career. Reaper's gonna probably be doing another last to first trip. No, he's coming out! As I was just saying, this is the first time we are seeing this AlphaTauri out in qualifying. It's incredible. I didn't think I would see the day. The AlphaTauri is out right now. We'll see what Reaper has in the quali tank. For the extra bit of context, Reaper has run a couple Grand Prix here towards the end as a reserve driver, usually under the AlphaTauri banner. Now the Racing Bulls team. And he's always not qualified, and started at last and had some really good drives coming out. We'll see what he's able to do here. Leo coming in on his fast lap, right behind.
You know, and I think Reaper scored some good points for Elysian Williams over his
Indeed.
past races.
Indeed, he has been a very good driver, a very impressive driver, and I'm excited to see what he is able to do on a qualifying lap, and if he can punch well above his weight that we have been seeing right now. Leo gonna be crossing the line after a very good Coda drive. He gets things started with a 127.638. 200, well, 300ths of a second, excuse me, behind the leading Red Bull of Sierra. Plenty more in the tank then for him. John also coming out right now, and Reaper is going to get things started, though he is going to catch up to the Mercedes of John in the S's. That's always a little awkward. John manages to make it work. Let's see what Reaper is able to do now. And he invalidates it. Skids along the grass, and he spun into the gravel. Gonna be letting the Merc by right now. He's gonna have to get back to the pits. Those tires aren't gonna really work for another flying lap. Get back to the pits as quick as you can. Refocus. And get back out there.
Some tracks can be unforgiving.
Indeed, he just stepped his tire out over the curb a little too hard. Spun it on some gravel, and the gravel in this really acts as a magnet to the car, pulls it further into the gravel, and then you have nothing else you can do. You're a passenger at that point. But luckily, the gravel traps here along this old school circuit do at least ensure that we can stay out of the wall, as they're now going to be entering the pits. Couple other drivers, both Mercs, are going to be engaging along. John's going to be on a flying lap, and it looks like Leo is following behind. Leo liked to do a couple runs on his first stint out in qualifying recently. Two drivers yet to set a time, Kimaru and Reaper. Laz, 128.5, that puts him into P7 ahead of Mavie. And whoa, John has spun it hard.
Just spun the Dunlop curve.
Yeah, approaching Degna 1 right now. He, again, I think just went a little bit too wide, put some tire in the grass. You could see in some of these sections that the track just goes right onto grass. You don't see that a lot anymore. That is the Suzuka circuit showing its age a little bit.
Another indicator of its age is the track's a bit on the tight side.
Indeed, it is not the easiest to overtake here, which is why the qualifying can be so important around here, as I see it's like both sectors coming out. Will Reaper also be coming out for another go? We will see. I do have Skylar, who is a little sick today, but not sick enough to keep him out of the cockpit.
He's still trooping on.
Indeed. Avo also trundling down the back straight. I think he is on an in-lap. Couple drivers coming out right now, as our final few runs are going to be set in. Lenny set a 126.862. Just faster than Corvix right there by 200ths of a second. Corvix is going to have to respond. And I know he's going to really want to respond. We'll see. This championship's getting heated. Getting heated in a very emotional way.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be a lot of people screaming at me after this about how I did not notice that Lenny set a new pole time. Ugh.
Sometimes I think we need to start keeping track lap records.
Indeed, we do. These lap times are just coming on down and down. Maybe that's something we could do by F1 game too, just because of how different each game can be. Laz is out on a flyer right now. Both Saubers doing a flying lap, and Skyler also starting his flying lap. It'll probably be his last one. We'll expect a whole cadre of cars to be coming out momentarily. As the session starts to draw to a close, I see movement in the Aston Martin end of the garage. Avo's going to be coming out. I see a Ferrari coming across. Bunch of cars now going to be coming out. We got Reaper coming out. We got a couple other drivers coming out. But beginning our final runs, our final set of runs, very shortly right now. Laz will be the last one to set a time. He is currently down on his personal best, so looks like no improvement coming from the American Otter, but we will see. No improvement right now. We then have Kimaru coming in to set his time. He has not set a time yet. Here they come. It's a 1:30.3. So that puts them last of the provisional runners on the grid. And then we have Skyler coming through. He is well behind, so I think he's going to be going for another flying lap here. Guess he just wasn't happy with his initial attempt at it. I did see maybe in the Ferrari jump up into P5, a 1:27.7 times, really starting to fly on down as the circuit evolves.
He split into two Mercedes.
Indeed. We have Reaper going to be starting a flying lap. His will be the first one to complete after Skyler, who's also won a flying lap, and Reaper invalidates. Will there be enough time to get around? No. So
No. Only 20 seconds until the checker flag falls.
Indeed, he is going to be unable to get on through in qualifying. Shame for the AlphaTauri driver, but a little too wide in sectors. We then have another Aston Martin going through the Degnas. There's an Alpine stopped at the Degnas, probably just letting everyone by, is Adric. He's just completely parked it in the Degnas.
Corvick sets his personal best first sector.
Skyler is going to cross the line, no improvement. We then have Jinx in the Ferrari. Well, he's stuck at the hairpin, so he's not going to improve his time. We then have Avo coming in the Aston Martin. He's approaching 1:30R. He's 8 tenths up right now. This is going to be a huge improvement for the Raven. For the Crow. The Corvette.
Yeah, the Hoopo Raven next.
Yep. 1:28.7. John gets across. Lenny improves to 1:26.5 as we saw.
What's Corvix gonna try?
It's Corvix. 1:26.6.
He misses out on 100th.
That's a 10th in a second.
10th. Sorry.
Yeah. Missing out on third by 200ths is Leo. As Sierra and Leo both improved, the track evolution really kicked in here. But Lenny on pole, Corvix in second. Lenny gonna be doing absolutely what he needs to in order to make up that gap.
Everything that the Japanese home crowd and Honda execs attending this race want to see.
Indeed, Sierra, the Welsh Strike, coming in third. Any more surprises? Beyond Reaper unable to set a time, but track limits being track limits. You can catch anyone out on any given day. With a circuit as tight as this, I'm expecting, given everything, a couple penalties to be handed down. Maybe a John had a close run affair, 2 temps separating them. And then Laz and Avo with a similar gap of 2 temps, but Avo ahead of his teammate on her comeback into the FRL. Finally fixing their force feedback issues. He's going to be quite happy with that one.
His preparations get underway. This cool autumn's day.
Indeed. We're
So
going to be
good.
expecting one stop, I know, as well. It's just a... Oh, I thought that was a guy. No, that's just a camera on the zip line.
No, that's still a common sight.
Yeah.
Separate circuits. No, you won't see any Red Bull guys parachuting down. This isn't IRL Austria.
No. We do have the camera going back and forth for reasons. Gotta make sure that the pulley works. The marshal's standing around, doing marshal things, looking at the little drum case over there, labeled 16. Ferris wheel turning as it should.
That's which is the star attraction of the Suzuka circuit outside of racing.
I was gonna say, I figured the star attraction of the Suzuka circuit would be the circuit. Come for the race, stay for the Ferris wheel. Clearly. And the camera pulley.
Just taking a very good look at the 2023 spec cars.
Yeah.
On the circuits.
Yeah. Couple front wings out on pulleys. The teams know that there's going to be a lot of broken front wings. A lot of broken front wings. Especially with this circuit. Especially with how we know the circuit can be on race starts. Chances on a Senna Prost moment, do you think?
Ooh. I genuinely hope not.
Well, we all hope not, but do you think it'll happen?
At least hopefully I don't think so. It's, our drivers don't hate each other to the point of those two.
Yeah.
Nor do I think they'd be willing to outright try and kill one another in similar fashion.
Yeah. I guess in relation to that, do you think the grippier side of the circuit is the pole side of the circuit? Actually, Suzuka is kind of interesting in that The pole side of the circuit is opposite of circuits. Normally you see the pole sitter line up on the left-hand side. Here the pole sitter lines up on the right-hand side of the track.
The inside. So
Yep. Another unique thing about this old temple of racing, truly, here in the heart of Japan. Some trees. And a grid of cars about to go out on a formation lap. Lenny leads Corvix on the front row. This is another pole position of the year for him. The second row is Red Bull, Mercedes, Cyril leading off Leo in the lead. Silver Arrow. The third row sees the Scuderia leading out the other Mercedes, Mavie, and John. A-Drake leads off the fourth row for the French Alpine team. Then it's Laz behind him, and all Aston Martin fifth row of Avo on their return to FRL, and Skylar in P10. We have a Scuderia Sauber sixth row of the grid.
there's an Alpine spun out, it seems.
Indeed. Is yeses. Just luckily nobody caught in that one there. Jinx leads the Silver Kimaru, who had a rough go of it in quali, having an even rougher go of it, and starting in P13, Malone's car on the 7th row of the grid, Reaper.
And again, this part of Japan, like I'm getting to milk. I'm gonna milk it for all it's worth. This part of Japan is again Honda country. I think their headquarters are a skip away from this track. It's in the same prefecture, Mie.
Be real, I don't know enough about the Honda geography to know that right now. Yeah. Lenny skipping over the curves. Gonna be approaching the starting grid. Corvix is just entering the chicane now. He's a little bit slower on the formation lap here.
Everyone else entering navigate the Casio Triangle, as that chicane is called.
Indeed. Here we go, Lenny getting the parking job as right as he can. Everybody taking their time on the park job. See the grid fill itself out right now. That Alpine is very out of alignment. That's apparently okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. FRL is away in Japan! As Lenny and Corvix both get a good launch. Sierra gonna be looking up to the inside. He has a bit of a run, but Corvix blocks off the move right now. Top 4 as they were. Leo actually might have a bit of a go at it. No, he does not. We have a Ferrari up in P5. P6 is A-Drake as John goes down to P7. It was a really bad launch for the Sauber Laz right now. He is in last as Skylar and Abo get up ahead of both Saubers. Reaper's already up at the P10. He managed to get that just from the start of this Grand Prix right now. A-Drake is going to be looking to make more moves up onto the top of the grid as we have Red Bull, McLaren, Red Bull as we were. John looking to the inside of A-Drake. The course is going to come back around. A-Drake's going to hold it right now. John on the soft tires, unable to find the grip to get past A-Drake here. Sierra went for the hard tires. Leo went for the mediums. Maybe John on the softs. Skylar went for hard tires again, which is a bit of a unorthodox move from him right now. I know he really likes to do the two-stoppers. I wonder if they replaced him in the last 2 races, because he's been on the hard tires to start in both right now. That usually points to a 1-stop, and this race is probably going to be a 1-stop. Lenny crossing the line, holding on. Reaper in the pits, probably for wing damage.
Yeah, I saw a front wing end plate go fly off at race start.
We'll have to take a look at that race start again when we can, as the front wing gets bolted on. A good pit stop, all things considered, from the AlphaTauri crew. But it's currently Lenny and Corvix fighting it out. Our championship rivals getting a little bit of a gap to Sierra. Leo needs to get by Sierra if he wants to stay in this race start. Sierra's on those hard tires. He's going to be dragging further and further back. And once the DRS gets away of Corvix, has a little look to the outside of Lenny, but not able to make anything work there. This is a track that can be really hard to overtake at. Lenny riding the outside curve in the spoon. And now they go down this long back straight towards 130 yard. There's a little bit of a gap to the Aston duo. Skylar does lead Avo, so Avo did fall behind Skylar a little bit. And it looks like there might be a little bit of a run from Kimaru on the Raven right now. Not quite, but Jinx and Laz are going to be fighting hard. Laz goes to the inside of the Casio triangle and they come together. Very tough fighting between these two, as Corvix is also going to be looking to get a move done for the race lead. Further back, Adrake and John fighting it out in turn 1. Sierra's going to be losing ground as well to Leo in the back here. And there were fights up and down this grid. Currently, Corvix looking at it 2 temps down. Nothing going to be happening through the Dengas, both taking the racing line as you go. Hairpin might be somewhere you can get a move done, but you really have to lunge it sometimes in these cars. Especially when you're evenly matched on pace like these two are.
But don't do a Sergio Perez back in 2023.
You have Sierra just dropping further and further back to his teammate and to Corvix. Up ahead. Leo is going to look to get on by the Dragon from Cornwall, racing under the Welsh flag. Oh, they are very close right now as they go through 130R. Leo's gonna look for a move into the triangle, and it's not quite enough. He looks outside too, and that's going to invite maybe to have a look. No, not quite. Leo now goes to the inside, shapes up the move, and gets it done under DRS. But he is now 2 seconds back to Corvix, but Sierra falling behind. Sierra's really good at 1-lap pace. Sometimes struggles in the race pace right now, as Avo and Kimaru are fighting in the turn 1. They're not going to be fighting into the S's, no. Kimaru backs out. Avo managing to defend. He's in P9. He could be on for points on our debut back. Further upfield, Lenny and Corvix are going to be in their little duel. And they're going to probably be in a duel for a little bit longer, as we see these two going through. Maru's shaping up for a move into the hairpin, and there's an incident. Laz is out. Safety car has been deployed. That'll neutralize the race, as it is.
Well, I could see he must have lost it right under the bridge.
Yeah, it looked like he dipped a tire out. This safety car, it's a little too early for a lot of people to stop. You might see the soft runners go off of their tires. But I don't see a lot of people fancying the gamble. But you know who this really benefits? Benefits Reaper, who will now have a second chance going on through the S's to make his way up the field. I do see a car coming in. It is Leo. interesting call from the Mercedes, who pits on the fresh medium, so he will have to stop again. But he wanted to get out of that little fight, it looks like. Maybe carve his way up across the field. I do see Kimaru pitting on the hard tires. Jinx onto another pair of medium. Couple drivers going for 2 stops here with the safety car. But yeah, I think what happened with Laz was it was on the exit of Degna 2 leading up to the hairpin. I think he just dipped a tire onto that grass. The curb's a little weird and elevated.
Fat exits seen, well, that corner's seen a bike count. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Reaper also hit onto the use of mediums. Everybody on medium tires. Are they expecting the rain? I partly wonder. That wouldn't really make sense though, because I'm not seeing cloud. I'm trying to take apart strategy decisions here.
Do we have any weather radar to speak of?
I do wish we did. Because I am struggling to see some of these decisions hit from people. If I were Reaper, I would have just held on to the tire, but maybe the extra lap will help me wiggling on down the straight. Trying to put heat into the tires. Go for the safety car right now. Lenny will have a job to do. And that job is going to be hold back Corvix on a restart. Zira will have essentially very little threat coming on for him. Maybe does have the pace, but he is on used soft tires. Our soft runners deciding not to bail off of the tire quite yet. Which, I know it's very early, but I can't help but feel like that's the wrong call. Those soft tires, you're not getting the pace out of them. They're not going to wear down as much on the safety car, but they're still going to wear. I feel like you do have to get off of those soft tires. At this point, you're not going to really see the benefit of being on them. As the chess match here continues. These drivers right now. I'm wondering, the Leo is locked into 2 stars. Now. He started on the mediums and he pit for mediums. They are fresher mediums, and I think getting stuck behind Sierra, Leo is just like, I want a tire advantage. Going in. And it does still threaten the top view, and it lets him go longer. He's gonna be able to pit on the softs for the end. Instead. So I think Leo on down, what they want now is green flag running to the end.
That's supposedly the plan.
Like,
safety cars in this lap.
Yep, so safety car's got fueling away into the pits right now, and it's all down to Lenny. He's throttled for a little bit before approaching the start-finish straight. Then there's going to be no overtaking until we get past the main line, the timing line. But Lenny gets to set the pace, and he's off. FRL's once again away in Japan. Green flag running here in Japan. And Sierra has a chance to go get Corvix right now, but Corvix cuts the move off, manages to defend. Further back, I'm seeing some 2-wide action right now as John, A. Drake, and the Ferrari maybe are fighting. I think there was even a little bit of front-to-rear contact between the Ferrari and the Alpine there. That's gonna let John get back into this. Skylar's up at the P7. He's fighting Leo. They're side by side, but Leo gets on through the tire advantage, just being a little bit too much right now. Kimaru manages to get by Avery in the back there. A little bit of a move on the exit of the S's, and ooh, Avery goes a little bit wide. That's gonna let Jinx and the Ferrari go side by side. They're gonna be side by side into the hairpin right now. Avo has the inside line, and through the hairpin, here comes Reaper. Reaper gonna be on the outside of Avo. He went past on the hairpin for a little bit, but now Reaper's gonna be on the inside of Spoon, and he's bundled off into the grass. He's going to be rejoining. I don't think there was a good enough traction through Spoon. Maybe a driver getting shoved off track, but we'll have to look after the race about that one right there. Corvix, meanwhile, is going to have a run on Lenny here. Sierra falling behind, just not having the pace to keep up with the front two right now as Jinx gets by Avo. It's all coming undone for Avo on those used mediums. Those who decided to pit for the fresh mediums doing very well. Corvix goes to the outside of turn 1. Lenny mounts a little bit of a curve, but Corvix goes wide, and he is going to be able to hold the position. This is going to let Sierra get back into this fight. Idrake's out. Safety car deployed again.
And there goes Alpine's chance of good points.
Indeed, I didn't quite catch what happened with Adrake there. But our second safety car of the day, and it's a VSC, so it's not a full safety car. The field will not bunch up, but this will let the soft runners potentially get off of their soft tires if they wish.
If
Yeah, if they get... Yeah, if they wish, if they get over to the pits as well. Currently, Corvix and Lenny, though, locked into a fight. There was a move attempted by Corvix along the outside, but he wasn't able to quite make it stick as we're back to green flag running away once again in Japan. Sierra managed to get the jump there. These two are going to be closing it off, but oh, they went wide! They went wide, and Sierra's through. Sierra is through in a second. He managed to catch Corvix sleeping on the restart right now on those hard tires. Though they both went off track to get the move done. We'll have to see. There's going to be a lot of... That move's going to get scrutinized after the race. I just know it right now. As now Corvix is going to have to fight Sierra. This is not what the McLaren driver wanted. It's a Red Bull 1-2 currently. Corvix going to be looking to the outside as the curbs go on through, approaching Dunlop. Going to be finding Degna 1 right around here. And oh!
Corvix is out.
I saw a snap to the inside from Sierra, and Corvix is out of the race.
And we got another full safety car.
That's a full safety car. From my point of view, it looks like Sierra just tried to cut off the line and just smashed Corvix into the wall, if I'm being honest with you. I know Sierra said that he would fight Corvix as hard as he can, and he did.
Isn't this pushing it?
Maybe, but if we're talking about... There were worries going into this race that this would get heated, and it looks like that those prophecies of doom have come to pass right now. Lenny going to be going into the pits. He's going to be pitting onto probably the hard tire. Yep. Ferrari coming in. Everybody's going to be coming in right now. Except for Sierra. But Sierra fought very hard. Too hard, I would say. But not my decision to make, ultimately.
Well, Corvix has a lot of work to do coming into the final race next weekend.
Indeed, Corvix will score no points. As it stands, the gap will essentially swing on back to the way it was before America. Even a little bit more if Lenny is able to win. Currently, Lenny's in 4th, but the 3 drivers ahead of him have not pit. Leo's pit on the hard tires, so both Lenny and Leo are going to the end. Leo's early pit might not have worked out for him.
Well, I don't think anyone was expecting a second safety car.
No. No, I don't think so right now, especially to come from that. They were blowing hard right there. And, like, I could see it. I don't want to say I could see it kind of coming or that I'm not surprised, but, like, those two went wide through 130R. They were fighting completely close off. And, essentially it was... Without those two have been throughout the season, with the tensions between going into this race, I am not surprised. Maybe a little disappointed, but not surprised at what has happened. Because you, as a lover of the sport, you always do hope for clean racing. For good, clean racing and a good, clean title fight.
Unfortunately, it seems like fate likes to have other ideas.
Indeed. Gloves will be off as we go into the last race, which is, I believe, Interlagos. But we still have half a race to get through here. Whether or not you can believe that, there's still half a race. It's already felt like there's been a whole Grand Prix worth of action as we go on through this race. So here's your current running order as we now go through. Sierra leads with Kimaru in 2nd and Jinx in 3rd, though all 3 of them have yet to pit. They will need to pit again. So Lenny currently holding net lead at the Grand Prix. He's in 4th though. Maybe 5th, Leo 6th, Skylar on soft tires in 7th, so he will have to pit again, but he's hoping to make up some ground in the meantime. We have Reaper in P8, Avo P9, John in P10. The rest of them do not need to pit again. I'm not sure entirely what happened. But I mean, like I said, it just looked like we've had a big incident here right now. Corvix, Adric, Laz, DNFing. Corvix is the big DNF of this race.
The biggest shock.
Indeed.
And it was the 2nd time this season and he's been crashed out.
Yep, and this is the first time it happened with Sierra involved.
Yes.
Sierra have had a bit of a run-in. They had a lot of front to rear taps in Vegas.
Safety cars in this lap as we see Burnt Mylander in his Aston Martin Vantage peel into the pit lane.
Indeed, as here we go. FRL's away again for the 3rd time in Japan. Maybe 3rd time's the charm for green flag running to the end, but Lenny's going to be looking to the inside of the Ferrari of Jinx in 3rd. Jinx has never been running this high. I bet you he's going to be happy to say, hey, look, I'm in 3rd right now for the Scuderia. And he's fighting Lenny right now as... Ooh, Kimaru and Sierra are fighting. Kimaru's going to be looking to beat the pass on a Red Bull here. He does have a little bit of a tire advantage. Sierra has not changed tires at all. So Kimaru came in at the 1st safety car, I believe. But he will have to stop again, and I doubt those hard tires are going to make it to the end right now. We do have Jinx holding his own right now in that Ferrari with the medium tires. He might need to force a DRS pass from Lenny, which is an achievement right now.
Just
But I think it is a
at
matter
this
of time.
at this position, he's having a nosebleed.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I could like feel probably the anxiety of the Scuderia garage right now. Kimaru also gonna be looking for a way by. But Jinx going through 130 are in a podium position. Lenny looking to the inside, but not able to make a move. He's shaped up for it, but didn't go for it. And so, Jinx, congrats. You held off Lenny for a lap.
But for how long?
Indeed, as Sphinx. Yeah, when the DRS gets re-enabled on lap 14, I can see something happening, but like, hey, I'm trying to give the man some compliments. This is the highest he has been running in a Grand Prix right now. On 8-lap old medium tires versus the 3-lap old hard tires of Lenny. We have Leo behind Mavie, who's getting into a fight with Reaper right now. Reaper trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes. It's dragon on non-dragon violence right now as they go through, and that's a Ferrari. That's wide. That's Jinx, who is running so well, but he's going to be going down to the 7th. Manages to rejoin, but then has a bang into with the Aston Martin of Skylar. Skylar was on the outside. I think Jinx understeered into him right now and forced Skylar around, and that soft tire run is not going to go well. I think we were talking about this race potentially being a bit of a crazy one, and it has been crazy so far. Sierra still leads the Japanese Grand Prix right now. He's going through 130R. Kimaru running out of steam on the attack, but it is going to let Lenny now get through in 3rd. Ooh, Kimaru getting right onto the tail of Sierra. The Dragon struggling to get on back.
DRS is online.
Yeah. A lot of cars pitting. A lot of cars pitting right now. It's
Jinx gets himself a 5-second time penalty.
That's gonna be for speeding into pits. Leo's on soft tires. Did he have to fix his wing? I think so. Yeah, it's considering he's come out behind Jinx. I think he had to fix his wing. Skylar also had to fix wing. I'm not sure where Leo would have gotten wing damage from. But it's going to be a recovery drive with German.
I want to say it's on the last lap entering the Casio Triangle. At least that's my suspicions.
Might be. But so far,
as John goes off into the gravel trap and spins out and bumps into Avery.
And that's Avo. Does Avo have wing damage? He is now running 6th, but she's going to have to look at that front wing. Tell she's not going to be very happy with that one.
It doesn't look like there's any damage.
Yep.
Just a minor insignificant tap.
The little tap for the road right now as we've gotten field spread. Lenny managing to get by Mavie in the Ferrari, so it's currently a Red Bull 1-2. Lenny has the net lead of the Grand Prix. Kimaru falling behind the Ferrari in those 9-10 lap old tires. Ooh, Mavie shaping up a potential move on the outside. Sierra had a little bit of lag. Might have fed into the incident with Corvix, thinking about it.
Ferrari's just hoping to gate crash the party and disappoint the Japanese fans who are cheering on Red Bull.
Indeed, we are now seeing a very tight 1, 2, 3. Sierra setting the pace at the front of the field right now, and it's going to be a slower pace. His tires he's been on since the start of the Grand Prix. You can potentially, though, with all the safety cars, make these last until he needs to pit right now. Avo and John gonna be fighting through the hairpin. John not gonna be able to make a move quite yet. Are we gonna see a move in the 130R? It looks like there might be something that could happen right now. Oh, Sierra giving his teammate some toe. These guys are very close. Lenny pulls off to the inside, and he manages to get by into the lead of the Grand Prix. Sierra and Maybe fight. Maybe trying to follow Lenny through, but Sierra defends hard. And that's going to be Sierra holding the position right now. Maybe going to have DRS, though, to potentially fight on by Sierra. Ferrari looking for his second race win. That would be a wonderful race win for the Dragon if he can get it. Maybe looking outside, dipping onto the in. Leo sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It's currently Lenny, Sierra, Ava. Their top three. In fourth is Kimaru fifth, working his way up from back in another accidental last to first challenge. Reaper gets on through after into that curve, into the hairpin. Ooh. Very well done. You don't often see moves into the hairpin anymore, but Reaper has the tire advantage and a commitment to get through on the inside. John in P6, he managed to work his way by Avo, is in P7. She's having, all things considered, still a good race out. Has to know that Leo is not her race. Here we go for Spoon. Leo will have to stop again. I don't think those soft tires are going to last to the end. It was more just an emergency. Oh my goodness. Avo Leo having a little bit of a fight right now. It's not going to be easy. I don't think she wants to make it easy for the German Dragon right now. Having quite a good time, but goes a little wide on the entry, and that's going to let Leo go through. The soft tires have the better traction on the exit, too. And Leo has the DRS to solidify the move. Very well done, but some good racing. As it looks like Avo's just having fun out there right now. Even after the little incident with John. The day to forget for the Mercedes is what it is panning out to be right now. John in P6, Leo in P7, but those soft tires will not last to the end. Pending a miracle, anyway. Also a day to forget for a lot of the Saubers, but Kimaru might salvage a P5 right now as Maybe gets by in the Scarlet Ferrari. Hero gonna be looking to fight back. He's been fighting hard today. Very hard today.
Fighting hard even if a circuit that's not exactly friendly to padders, but Sierra peels into the pits.
Indeed, he had to stop at some point. Yeah, he was on the tires he started on and was the last driver to be on the tires he started on. So it's going to be emerging in 5th place with medium tires to the end. For Sierra. Ooh, actually the Mercedes might get on by. They both get on by. Leo managing to have a current lead over the, and John gets onto the curb and spins. So that's John spinning out on turn 2. Just a little too much extra.
And just giving Sierra free position.
Indeed, Leo will have to stop again unless he pulls off the tire job of a lifetime. John's gonna have to work these tires as well. Just keep them cool. Link's in P8. Still a respectable job from the Ferrari driver. 5-second penalty will make it a P10, but he will still get points on the day. Ooh, John gets some traction off on the Ferrari right now, but the Ferrari just has better tires, a little bit better top speed, maybe some battery deployment to help on out. Currently, it's pretty safe up at the top. John and maybe, or not maybe, and Jenks are the ones fighting. Maybe 1.2 seconds back from Lenny. John gonna be looking to the inside of 130R though. No, can't quite make the move, but he's
tucks back.
yeah, he's gonna be very close. Gonna be looking for a move into Cassian. Nope. He'll just probably take it to DRS.
Yeah. That's one betting.
Yep, John opens up the rear wing. Skyler right on back there. Not able to make it happen though. 5 foot left, older hard tires is what he is working with, so.
John must have fell back exiting the Casio Triangle.
Indeed, the newer tires do give you that better grip. John doesn't really have a rush to get by Jinx because of the 5-second time penalty.
Yeah.
But
Jinx gets with tire onto grass,
Jinx goes defensive at the Degna 1.
But John goes onto the gravel.
Now in the Degna 2, Jinx manages to hold the lead here. P8. Avo way back in Avo way up in P7. After really holding on to a respectable finish. Might become a P6 if you can keep up with Leo. But it's a respectable return, as currently Leo and Zero are going to be fighting momentarily. The soft tires are going to be wearing on down. Zero almost in the DRS as Kimaru does go into the pits. Apple will actually have a chance to get by right here, depending. It's gonna be a close one, but she will get on by. See the Sauber exiting the pits now. Avo quite comfortably ahead. I got 2.3 seconds. John and Jinx fighting in the back there. John went to the inside of turn 2 right now. But Jinx with the better traction on the newer tires, and John's going to be getting frustrated here behind the Ferrari right now. See the positions ahead of him disappear, and this has invited Skyler back into the party, and it's now a 3-way battle for P8. While Avo and Kimaru are now very close, Kimaru probably deploying a lot to get on through. Avo has some traction on the outside. Kimaru potentially shaping up something in the spoon, but not quite. They're going to be moving on through Spoon. We have a few fights to be monitoring right now as Kimaru goes up to the inside of Spoon and Avo spun it. I think there was some wheel contact, and Avo is going to be down to 10 right now. We have Leo and Sierra fighting. Leo going defensive onto the inside for P4. Sierra manages to make the pass on the outside with DRS. The aging soft tire is not helping. I think Kimaru and Avo got into a little bit of contact there. I'll have to see what happened there after the race. Race might get a lot of litigation, some busy stewards here as John gets on by. Link's finally in the DRS right now. He's been looking for that one for a while. Skyler's gonna be getting in on the fun here too with Jinx. Avo can still get onto a P9 finish if he manages to get down some pace. If he can get into that 5-second penalty window.
Said would normally be just done away by an ad pit stop, but
I don't think Jinx needs to pit again, and Jinx not giving quite enough room at the outside. It looked like maybe, assuming Skyler was owed some room, but that puts Skyler in the wall. The Ferrari getting into some very awkward fights right now. That's a very awkward place to try to go around on the outside too.
that wasn't going to work.
Indeed, it was not. Sierra sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix right now. He is down in 4th position right now. Top 3 as they were. Top 3 nowhere close to being shaken up right now. Currently, our closest fight is going to be Jinx and John. But at this point, I don't think you can get the 5-second gap without John making just another serious mistake here. Currently, both Aston Martins, though, just running into a lot of trouble with other drivers.
Yeah, as Skylar peels into pits with, well,
Wing damage.
a lack, maybe a whole lack of front wing.
That is a form of wing damage, yes. a lot of tussling, a lot of turbine, a lot of outputs out here.
And a lot of carbon fiber to clean up.
Or free souvenirs for the marshals.
Yeah, sharp-edged carbon fiber. Which you really don't want to touch with bare fingers.
No, but you could probably put it in the box. Hang it up on your wall. I'd do that if I were a marshal anyway. Why not hold a little bit of car? Maybe right here lies the hopes and dreams of a driver that got into an incident in Japan. Here we go, right now. Jinx not going to be able to make any kind of move on John as we are now settling into the end of this Grand Prix. Reaper going to potentially be able to shape up a move against maybe for second, but Lenny is currently winning this Grand Prix. It'll be a 25-point swing at the top of the table. You just double check the gap. It is currently... So as things stand, it'll be an 8-point gap in favor of Lenny, which gives Lenny the advantage going into the final race. It'll be very interesting to see the championship scenarios play out, though.
Especially in a track that Corvix isn't exactly comfortable with.
We'll have to see things play out, but Reaper going to be making a final in the closing stages of this Grand Prix. This very incident-filled Grand Prix. I'm sorry, Colo, Chief Steward, I would say. You're going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. So yes. It was more like our former drivers, Kimori and Storm.
Yeah. You're both gonna...
Yeah.
So they are
It's
both
gonna be a
leaving the
busy,
FIA.
busy
I don't
week.
think Storm's actually doing FIA work anymore right now. I think he left after what happened in France. It was a little unfortunate, but...
You got another yellow flag.
Yeah, it's for John, who...
John, again.
Yeah, who might have just been in the... It might have just touched some grass again. Really under threat. Just need to put in the laps, but... Now John needs to close into the 5 seconds to retain that P7. Jinx has the fight on right now, and Kit just maintain a 5-second gap. Reaper pulls off to the inside of turn 1 and gets the move done before the braking zone. So that is second place for Reaper right now, and he has turned up the jets and he's closing in on Lenny.
Which this would make it a still full Red Bull family 1-2.
Indeed, but if Reaper gets on by, currently McLaren, I think, are going to have to be AlphaTauri fans for a little bit. I think that ties the two if they go in, if Lenny gets a second place. Or the current gap is 17 points, second place is 18. It would mean Lenny has a single point advantage.
Which is something that any racing driver worth their salt would do anything in their power to, well, not be just a single point.
Indeed, the red light is blinking though. Reaper is expending his battery, assuming it's correct on my end anyway, which is an assumption that I cannot make apparently after Coda. Because it turns out it was completely wrong. But maybe does have DRS, but it's not going to be enough to get a move done. 2 to go now in the Japanese Grand Prix. Lenny leads by 1.2 seconds. It looks like that there might not be a fight on for the lead.
Or a fight for second.
Indeed. Lenny managing to get everything done. There's still the fight for second really is still on right now. McLaren going to be hoping for a miracle in these last 2 laps to close up that gap a little bit. From 8 points to 1. John's in the pits right now. Probably pitting to get a fastest lap point from Hira. Might as well go for glory.
Fresh salt.
Yep, might as well go for some glory laps. Though an Aston Martin might get by. Yeah, Avo does get by. Oops.
This is shaping up to be a race to remember for some people, but a race to forget for many people.
Indeed. We're going to be starting the final lap of the Japanese Grand Prix right now, and Reaper needs a miracle in order to get on by Lenny here in this last lap. That we have managed to narrow the gap down to 5 tenths. He's going to be going through as much as he can. Maybe also going to be going through a lot right now to try. Lenny will have some pressure as they go through this last lap. It won't be an easy one right now. Lenny gonna be looking. He's gonna be going in, breaking into Degna 1 for the final time. Degna 2.
He has to not fall under pressure. He has to not crumble.
Indeed, we've seen a couple people lose it on the last lap right now. He needs to make sure that he stays on track. Avoid the penalty. Avoid the curbs, really. There's a Mercedes getting right on by Avo. They're going to be probably getting on by Avo. All things considered. As they finish up on the lead lap. Nobody's been lapped today, actually.
Yeah. I remember Scholar coming dangerously close.
Indeed, maybe pulls up to the outside of the triangle. That's going to let Lenny win the Japanese Grand Prix. He's going to cross the line right now. Lenny wins and secures an 8-point lead in the World Championship. Reaper in second, maybe third. Both on the podium. Maybe Reaper, I think, for the first time. Maybe for returns to the podium after a brief absence. Sierra gets in 4th right now. After a huge incident with Corvix, Leo has managed to recover up to 5th. He managed to make those soft tires last 14 laps. Impressive in its own right. I know I was talking about him stopping again, but he managed to make it work.
So what does this mean for the constructors?
Red Bull are constructors champions. I can tell you that much. The second place team was Mercedes, and it was a bit of a disaster for them, by their standards anyway. Jinx comes in P7. I believe that is his highest points finish of the year right now. Red Bull wrapping up the Constructors' title that they already had 1.5 hands on going into this race. But the Drivers' Championship remains unsettled. And it remains up for grabs between two rivals. Corvix Lenny will be fighting this one out next week. Lenny has the advantage. It is an 8-point gap, though. We're going to be going to a track next week home to many of these title deciders. Going to a track home for many bits of drama, many bits of heartbreak. A home race for Mavie. It will be the Brazilian Grand Prix next week. Same time, same place. But what a race this has been in terms of, well, a Japanese Grand Prix. Very action-packed. We had a couple DNFs to start. 2 safety cars, 1 virtual safety car. Fastest lap point goes to Sierra, who manages to get 13 points for the Red Bull team. Leo gets 10, but he is out of the running for the driver's title, I believe. Well done, no. A well done, well managed race for Lenny. Managed to just keep things out and clear. Fastest lap was a 129.3, 129.7. Leo, with an impressive recovery drive in his own right, had to make those soft tires last a long time.
Impossibly long.
Indeed, it was. I'm going to be wrapping up here, though. I would like to thank everybody for watching. Tuning in. Anything you have to add, Prid?
Here's the hoping the final race won't be as messy, chaotic.
Indeed. It should hopefully be very nicely done. A lot of work to be done after the race, too.
I feel pity on the FIA.
Polo, I end this broadcast by saying, I am sorry. We'll see you next week for Brazil. Thank you very much.
Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Goodbye.